training program, and our theme is empowering teaching through digital resources. This has become particularly important because of our collaboration with Buku, the digital online process for research, for learning, for teaching purposes. This is under the auspices of the library, organized through the institution, Accra Technical University, through our library with Dr. Mrs. Florence Ploke as our university librarian. Once again, we welcome you. We have our resource person who will be taking us through the digital portals for us to assess how to go through registration and all other related matters concerning this particular online resource. So on this note, we'll welcome our representative from Buku, Jeff. Jeff, you are welcome. This is Accra Technical University staff and then students joining this training for you to enlighten us on how to benefit from this particular resource for which we have signed up to. Thank you very much. Jeff, please take over.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Again, Akwaba to everybody. It's very nice to be here with you. So as mentioned, I'm going to go through the Buku platform and show you all the benefits the platform has on offer, which are available to all ATU staff and students at this point. Let me quickly share my screen. 1 second. Now I will also have some visual representation of what I'm talking about. I'm already the co-host. That is great. Right. Share screen.
And Jeff, let us know something more about yourself.
Yes, I will do that. I will do that. But I just first wanted to get this set up, and now I will speak about myself. Everybody likes to speak about themselves, right?
Yeah.
I'm Jeff. I actually founded Buku 10 years ago. I'm filling in for Wout. He was supposed to do this presentation, but he had obligations with his children, which is, of course, very important. I'm located in the Netherlands, but I've been to Ghana myself. It's a very nice country. Actually, it's my father's favorite African country also. So very good connection to the country. I founded Buku 10 years ago based on my struggles as a student. And when I was studying, I, of course, had to have access to all the books. The library did a lot for me, but of course, if you have an exam and everybody needs the same book at the same time, of course, the library cannot provide the same book for the 200 people, right? So struggled a little bit with that. And when I studied in the US for a semester, I really had the breaking point for me. And that was when I had to buy a book it was a book on skyscraper management, a technical book. And when I went to the lady at the counter to purchase the book, it was $100 US. And I did not have $100 US to buy the book. So I went home to my dorm and I complained. But my best friends from at that time, they were from Rwanda, but also from Ghana. And they said, okay, you complain, but you come from a place of privilege. Imagine how that is, for a student in Accra or in Windhoek or in Kigali or, Bogota, you name it. And that's when I thought, you're totally right. Because book prices and book platforms are all set up for the United States and all in terms of cost, in terms of the content which is being offered. So that's when the idea of Buku started, to make like a Spotify, Netflix, or YouTube kind of platform, where for a locally adjusted affordable fee, students could access everything they could ever need. So no more worries about accessing books. You could access it wherever they need, online, offline, any place, anytime. It was very controversial at first with the publishers because were not sure about the low cost model, but after getting the platform online and approving the concept in a few smaller countries, now 270 publishers are on board, over 220,000 books with thousands of books being added every day. So as a student or a teacher, you have access to anything you could ever want for a locally affordable price, which would be totally unaffordable otherwise. Online, offline, on the phone, on campus, off campus, doesn't matter. You have access to everything you could ever need. And that's one. And the second part, which I will get into a little bit later, is that we're also supporting a lot of local voices. Because if you look at, the publishing industry, maybe some books you've used as a teacher or a professor or a student, then most of the books are from ultimately the UK or the US. And I believe, and we believe as Buku, that we should also have more local voices in the publishing industry, and that these voices also should make a fair income with the books they're making. So what we're also doing is we're helping promote and facilitate a lot of local publishing as well. Because of course, if you look at, for instance, I'm just going to name a random subject, Ghanaian nursing is different than nursing maybe in New York. So people have to learn different things. But it's very difficult for a local Ghanaian author to make a book like that. But we have the facilities to actually help publish those kinds of materials. And we also provide those services to ATU, which I will get into a little bit later. So that's a quick introduction, or quick, very long, everybody likes speaking about themselves, about Buku. So we are currently in over 12 African countries and expanding every time, and very fortunate to also have ATU be onboarded, and we're looking forward to improve on this relationship. And that's why today we have this meeting and training. But what is good to note is that even if anybody at any stage has questions, whether it be during this meeting or afterwards in a month, doesn't really matter. We have a team that's always there to respond to any questions anybody might have. So you can always reach out to us, and we will help out. So I'm going to quickly run through the platform, tell you about what the platform is all about. I'm also going to give you a sneak peek of some new features which will be implemented, and a few other points of interest for ATU as an institute as well. So starting off, as you can see here, I'm already at the login of the Buku platform. Simply go to the Buku website and you can log in. The good thing for Buku and ATU is that we already have a single sign-on, that's what it's called. So basically with your institute email and your account you already have, you can just log in with your own email address. So you don't really have to do anything different to what you're doing right now. So if you click on login via, and you see Accra Technical University is already there. So you can just click on Accra Technical University and it will guide you to, well, at this point, your Microsoft account. So that's basically your email, the email address you already have. So it's very easy. Everything is already fully synchronized. So no setting up of new passwords, no new email addresses. You just use everything you already have. So once logged in, I'm gonna log in really quick with my own account. First thing you see as a user, very simple, just an overview of your dashboard. So an overview of the books you last read. So as you can see, I've been reading up on a lot of different things. So for instance, a book on doing business in Ghana, maybe some TVET books also in Rwanda. The system will also keep track of where you last left off in a book. So it will give you a tracker on how far you've come. So if you're studying, for instance, and you stop, the system will know where you stopped. If you then click on the book, it will automatically go back to the place of the book where you need to be. Making sure that, it's always easy to start again. For instance, you're going to eat, later you're going to study again. It will automatically guide you to the place where you need to be. As I said, we have hundreds of thousands of books available on the platform, from big publishers, the big names, Cambridge University Press, Pearson. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for, via the Discover page, you can look into the different subjects we have available. So let's say, for instance, I am a computer science student. I'm going to look into computers and I want to know more about databases. General database books, but also, for instance, data mining books, data warehousing. Basically, for any subject you could ever fathom, we have books available. And the good thing is that we have an automatic feed, so you always have the newest book available, and more books are coming in at all time as well. In the event, if there's a book on a specific subject, you say, okay, hey, I don't see this book, you can always reach out to us, and we will source that book from the publisher if possible, which is most of the time possible. If not, we can also present alternatives for that title, because yeah, like I said, on most subjects we have hundreds or thousands of books available. Okay, for instance, if you're looking for a human resource management, you can see that we have thousands of books available on human resource management. So it gives you a little bit of an idea how many books there are available. And going back, it could also give you an overview of Discover page of the newest books which are recently added. So we're adding also a lot of books in different languages. So most of the books are in English, but we also have French books, whatever language we have, we make it available on the platform. Furthermore, very important part is the reading lists. Reading lists can be made by any user, but are typically also made by librarians or curriculum builders, and can then be shared, with other users. So, for instance, I made a little one for mathematics. In, for instance, places like Aruba, you have the curriculum department that at the beginning of the year making a reading list, making it as extensive as they want, and then sharing this reading list, for instance, on their LMS. And if another user then clicks on this link, this reading list will also be copied into the system of the other user. This is also, for instance, used when students are co-creating or working on certain projects together. They can just, send the link to each other, like, hey, we need to get into these materials because this is important for our subject. Yeah, and if you just share the link, it automatically know what you're talking about. Of course, notes. So one thing which I'm going to show you as well, which we have available, is the ability to make notes in every book. This is getting more and more extensive as well. The notes are automatically saved into your system and are linked to a book. So there's no more excuses like, teacher, sorry, I left my notes. You have your notes with you at all times. Even if you make the notes offline, it doesn't matter. The system will synchronize and make sure you have, access to your notes. So if I click on a note, for instance, if I click on this note, it will now search where I made the note. And like you see here, I made the note here. It will guide me automatically to the place in the book where I made that note. So even if I then scroll through the book, if I click on it, it will guide me to that place in the book where I made the note. So once in a book, this is, for instance, a TVET book, I believe it is. Via the dots, you can look at the index, the table of contents, make it very easy to navigate through the book. So, for instance, if a teacher just goes to topic 1.1, just click on it and boom, it will navigate to that part. Some books also contain interactive content. So, for instance, videos, which will be a list with this will be here as well. And it will have information about the book as well. So this book was, for instance, made by the Rwanda TVET board and is about Rwanda tree maintenance. But in any book, it will have information on here. With Buku, ATU is also automatically fully compliant with accessibility standards. So everybody can use it, even people with sight impairments or people with dyslexia. Everything is optimized for them to work, perfectly as well. So you can adjust the reader settings. That's a very simple thing you can do. It will basically scale to any device. You can adjust the font size, decrease it. but it will also have options such as a dyslexic font. So this font, for instance, was made by the University of Utrecht in the Netherlands, and this font is scientifically proven to be able to help dyslexic people read better. So those are all, examples of things we do to, help the reading experience, make it even more immersive and better for everybody. Background, you can also change. It's easier on the eyes if you read at night, for instance. Sepia funny thing is that this setting is the most used setting on the Buku platform, even more than the default setting. Other options we have text to speech. You can't hear now because I have my headphone on, but you can select a part of the text and the system will read it to you. So, for instance, if you are dyslexic and you have trouble reading sentence structure, you can just have the system read it with you or read it to you to make sure you have everything in correctly. Or if you're very lazy, you just want to listen to a specific part of the book, you can also just do that for that cause. You can add an annotation as you saw the notes, so important for exam. And you can see then that it's saved and it's saved indefinitely to wherever I need it. Also, other options we have, you can generate a link to a specific part of the book. So if you want your fellow students or anybody to read this activity, you could just generate the link, share it, and the system will automatically bring them to this part of the book. So that's also very easy. So for instance, if you only want to show a person one specific part of the book, just generate a link and then boop, it's automatically to them. And you can also generate a bug. So let's say, for instance, there's a spelling mistake or whatever, you can report it, and then we will, for instance, spelling mistake here, and the system will then also inform the publisher there's a mistake in the book. In the book, you can also search, or let's say, for instance, you're looking for a certain word, you can type it in, word Kigali, and click on it, and it will guide you to that place. And it will even, underline it for you, like this is what you're looking for. So this book is, also, I think, if I'm correct, contains also some interactivity, and that's something we see more and more. So for instance, it has a multiple choice with automatic checking. And basically, this is the first steps in what you see also in books becoming more interactive instead of just being, text. So as you can see here, you can check yourself. So those are all examples what we see more and more, and also how our books are, improving over time. Lastly, maybe if you also have the search functionality, we have so many books available, but let's say, for instance, you want to know more about Ghana. You type in Ghana and we'll search all the books where Ghana is mentioned in a title. You can also narrow it down by publisher, by language, but it will even search where the word Ghana or the country is mentioned in a book. So, or if you're doing a research project, for instance, and you're looking for a very specific term, you could just type it in and it will search through all the books that it has available. And if you then click on it, it will bring it exactly to the place in the book where you need to be. It's very handy, of course. And lastly, in terms of the book experience, we have a new functionality which is coming out very soon, next week, and that is Buku AI. We've been working very hard on this, and we've been making this based on results done by the World Bank in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the World Bank tested out having an AI tutor for teachers and students, meaning that they have a chatbot that is based on the book. Now, what happened is that the results of the student increased by, I think it was like 30%, because it gave the teacher much more freedom, because all the mundane questions that students might have could just be asked to the AI tutor. So I'm sorry, this is in Dutch, but it's in English for you guys, but I am Dutch. So it helps out the teacher a lot, relieves a lot of burdens, because the student can just ask a question, hey, I don't get what's been said here, and the system will then just tell the student what is said there. So that it frees up a lot of time for teachers. Because if there's a very simple question, you can just ask the Buku AI and it will tell you the answer. So you have way more time to manage a lot of people. But also for a teacher, this is a very, very handy feature because it can also help you make presentations. Let's say, for instance, oh, I need to make an exam based on this book. You can just ask the system to make an exam for you of the book. So let's say, for instance, this is an HR book. So this is the most used HR book in the world. It's by Kogan Page. So let's say, for instance, I say, okay, could you please help me get a few relevant questions. Oh, let's see what I'm typing. Relevant questions. Oh, but I'm sorry, I'm just gonna pull away this questions for a quiz for this chapter. And the system will then help you out to make that. So it's working right now. So as you can see here, it will base it purely on the book. So the Buku AI will not go out, and get information from the world, but based on the book, it will give you answers on, on what you are looking for. Or it can create bullet points for presentation for this chapter. And it will create it for you. So both for a student and as a teacher, it's like having a big brother with you at all times that can help you, really make benefits for your work. So let's say, for instance, before it would take me a lot of time to create a PowerPoint and get all these rules together, and the system here just makes it for you. So much more efficiency in your work. So this is going to be implemented next week, and this is something very unique to reading platforms, but also has of course, a lot of added value for you as a student or a teacher, because it can increase your results massively. Furthermore, what we also have available is a statistics dashboard. Example of this is the University of Aruba. They've been working with us for years and years and years and years. So you can get a full overview, okay, how many users are using specific books, to really get a sense on, okay, what's popular, what are students thinking about. So as you can see here, this university has a reading percentage of over 90% of students. And you can really see that, the students are following, what is being said by the curriculum. So doing a lot of work in the exercises, for instance, on basic business economics, which is the main part of their university. It also gives you a full overview of all the users, and basically gives the institute full control as well on if anything needs to be done. But at ATU, that's already also optimized. And then lastly, a thing I wanted to really get into is the publishing part. So what we see more and more is that we help institutes, African Leadership University, many Rwanda TFET boards, but also other institutes, to help them to publish their own materials. And through that, the institute can also generate income, because 80% of everything that flows into Buku goes to the publishers. So Buku keeps 20% to keep the platform alive, but 80% goes to the publishers, and every publisher is the same. So normally it's very difficult for, most institutes, for instance, in Africa or South America or in Asia, to publish materials. But with Buku, they can, just simply uploading it into the system when their own students, but also students in other countries, read their materials. Income then flows back to the institute, upwards of 80%. And that way we also provide a revenue stream for, the institute itself. So maybe a good example is an institute in Namibia that's been working with us. They do a lot of nursing education, but there were no Namibian nursing books. So what we did is we helped them through the notes they had lying around and everything, helped them create a lot of Namibian nursing books. So now a lot of the income is also flowing back to the institute itself, but also students from other countries like Kenya and maybe Botswana are also reading their materials, and that income also then flows back to the institute. So that's why we're trying to create a eco space and also a publishing inter-African publishing economy. So yeah, and what we even can do is we can help provide the infrastructure, as you can see here. So this is for instance for the Rwanda TIFA board to help make those books, and also for ATU to manage all these books and upgrade them, update them. So for instance, here you can see it's a graphics design book. You can edit them. You can see version control. So those are all things we can offer for ATU to also publish more of their own content, because personally, I believe more Ghanaian voices should be in the publishing industry, and more Ghanaian content should be available to students, not only at ATU, but all other Ghanaian institutes and institutes beyond the borders of Ghana. That's in real short what Buku is about. Does anybody have any burning questions at this point?
All right, thank you very much, Jeff, for this presentation. So at this point, we want to take questions. So if you need question for clarity, Jacob, Ayambela, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. I have a question. Please,
Yeah.
can you search this for me? Just type biochemistry. Try to search for biochemistry for me.
Books. It's one word, right? Biochemistry. Yeah.
Yeah, biochemistry.
So
One
here.
word. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Biochemistry, Cengage, College Atlas, Principles of Biochemistry, Yeah, lots of books from Wiley, Springer,
yes.
Pearson. Yeah.
No, kindly go up where the category is. I'm looking at the number of books that you have there.
On biochemistry?
I'm looking at the number of books under medical.
So
No,
let me see.
so go to where you have the category.
The category. And I have to find the category where it is. I know that it's at least
In your
100.
search box, just type biochemistry inside it. In your search
yes,
box, just type biochemistry inside it.
Yeah. Well, it is
Your search box,
underneath.
yes.
Yeah, biochemistry. So it's over 22, but it's probably more because some books might also be in other subjects. So I think for biochemistry, it would be about 50 or 60 books we have available. I think the most used, on top of my mind, the most used biochemistry book we have
Yeah,
available
so my issue is
one.
because in my discipline, the point I'm trying to make is that in my discipline, when I type, I get just one book or two books, which I don't think is going to is going to help. So if there's a way you can get more books
Yeah,
for us, I think it will help us. But as it stands now,
sure.
I don't think we are getting enough resources as we expect.
Yeah. So we have 220,000 books available now. If there's a very specific topic you're looking for, which we are lacking a little bit, then just you can notify us, and then we can chase it with Cengage, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, the publishers we have available, and more can be available.
Yes, because the reason is that our university is some discipline specific. We are more into science, engineering, mathematics, education, and so those are the books that we need more. If we have books on social sciences and the rest, they are of no use to us virtually, right? So we need more of engineering, science, technology, mathematics books. So if you have more books in these disciplines, that will help us. But for the social science book, we are not interested in them.
We have all, so it's unlimited. So also engineering books, we have chemistry, anything you might need, we have, or we can source. So you have everything. The reason why we also have social sciences books or maybe some business books is that we believe that everybody should be able to access everything. So maybe a good example of what we see is that, for instance, if you're looking at an engineering institute, you might have one student or a teacher who's also interested in entrepreneurship. And then we believe that he or she should also be able to access those books. So it's just like if you're a Michael Jackson fan and you also wanted to listen to one Beyonce song, you should be able to do that, right? So it's the same with us. There's no limitations, and there's also no cost increase or anything like that, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff. There is one question in the messages. How quickly is your database updated to include the year in review, 2025 books?
It's very good. So we have automatic feed. So if a book comes out now while we're having this meeting, then it's automatically fed from the publishers to Buku. So we have newest always. Actually, the main thing we have had discussions with the publishers is that we also always try to keep the old ones on as well. Because publishers, what we've seen in the past is like, okay, for instance, university somewhere is using a 2023 example of a book, and we get the 2025, then the publisher says, okay, we want to get rid of the 2023 book, but maybe, you know, 2,000 people are still using that. So we always also try to keep the old one on as long as possible, so that if you're using it, you know, you don't automatically have to be updated to the new one. But yeah, it's always the newest. That's basically my point. It's a very long answer to a short question. I see more hands. Who was first? I don't know. Dr. Isaac?
Yes, my hand is up. Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. I have two things in mind. What you talk about construction?
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out whether you have enough on construction textbooks, construction technologies, construction management, and the like.
We have a lot. We have a
okay.
lot. A lot.
And then my second point is, I want to disagree with Jacob, my friend Jacob Ayambila, on the fact that we don't need the social sciences and all that. Please, we need all kinds of books. Social sciences, research method in social sciences. We use this. There are a lot of social science books that we use. So if you should say we do not need, as a university, we do not need that, I totally disagree with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Isaac.
Hello, just for clarification, that is not the point I am making. What I'm trying to say is that this is most of the programs that we run. I am on the platform. You probably have not gone to the platform. That is why maybe you don't understand what I'm trying to say. I am on the platform, and the books that I am looking for are not there. So that is why I am making the point that these disciplines are the major ones that we have here. And so if it is to help the school, then we must get books in these disciplines. Otherwise, then it will become a white elephant at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I think I hear your point. So as I said, it's a good point. So if there's but I said what I'm trying to stress, and if there's very specific parts where we're lacking, we have collaborations with all the publishers, so we can source it for you. So I'd be happy to help you out, because sometimes what we even do, that's at the beginning of a new year, we have, for instance, we did it just now in the Caribbean at a few institutes, where the teachers were like, hey, you know, I have to start a new year, books have to be updated, I don't know what to do, you know. And then we facilitated conversations, for instance, between the publisher and teachers. So that's something we can even also do.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Madam Florence Blocky, please go ahead with your question.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. and Jeff. To add to Mr. Yambile's question, is if you have a reading list, kindly let us know, get it in the library so that we can forward it to them so that they would add it to the collection. Yeah, so please, if Mr. Yambila, if you, and not only you, if anybody feels he's looking for a book on the platform and is not getting, just give us the list, we'll forward it to them and they will look for it and add up. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Florence.
Lawrence. Dr. Irina
I
Kapp, please go ahead with
Thank you very much for the chance to talk. I do not actually agree with Ayimbila. If you want some books and they are not found here, don't say other programs are not necessary. Yes, it is a technical university, but at the end of the day, there are other programs. Like my colleague says, social sciences. When you're doing research, you have to look at other areas to help you. There are some other topics in some other books that will help you to be able to do your work. Ayimila cannot tell me that he wouldn't do
all right,
administration.
Madam Irene, thank you very much. We'll deal with that issue and add up more books. Madam Ruth Pebby, please go ahead with your question. Ruth is muted. Okay. Professor Frank Opuni.
Prof, please, I'm here.
All
Sorry,
right,
please,
Ruth, please go ahead.
Yes, please, I wanted to find out because I'm on the page right now. So I went to my section, hematology. I realized you have some books there. But if you click on it, reading it is it's a bit challenging because you need to be clicking on the next. So I want to find out, is there an easy way? Like, are the books there downloadable, or you would have to read it on the site?
Yeah.
All right, Jeff will answer that.
Yes. So you read it on the site. It's not downloadable, of course, because the copyright is with the publisher. So it's just like if you listen to a song on Spotify or you watch a movie on Netflix, you don't actually download it, but you watch it in Netflix or in Spotify. But we have multiple routes available to you, of course, to read. You can read it on the laptop, and you have all your functionalities, of course, because, for instance, with the Buku AI and everything, we provide that in the platform. But we also have applications available for the phones and everything, so you can also read it offline on your phone. So there are multiple routes, of course, to read. In terms of clicking on next.
I'm interested in the offline reading because then it looks as if you'd always have to need the internet.
No, you don't. Yeah. So what we have available, it's also like many other options. So we started out as a platform in Suriname where internet and infrastructure is much worse compared to Ghana. So we have an app available. I will share the links to that application as well. You can download it on your phone or on your tablet. And then you can use books offline up to 14 days. And you only need a very short internet connection. So we also have options to read offline as well. And we also have instructional videos for you on how to best use those applications to support you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Professor Franco Fune-Primpong, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much. My interest is in research, so I wanted to know whether you do have research methodology books and if they are discipline specific. For example, in terms of social sciences, data science, engineering, and other disciplines. Right. Now,
yes.
All right. The second one is that I'm interested in data analysis software. Do we have subscriptions that do we have some software that you can subscribe to? And what will be the model for subscription?
You already have access to everything. So the institute already has it.
Yeah, do you have access to data analysis software like Stata, and stuff like that?
Data analysis software, you mean like analysis on how the platform works?
No, not really. I mean, general data analysis software like our Stata, SPSS. Can you subscribe to such? Does your platform give access to such?
I have to plead the fifth on that question. So let me quickly check that out. for you. So, okay. Data science, SPSS. I will make sure
Dr.
you.
Punu,
Okay.
Dr. Punu, I think so far what we have now is the books, but if they have it, then maybe I don't know. You
Okay, so
can
they
check
have,
and get back.
okay, so they have the books that are related to the software that you can subscribe to help you understand how those software works, right?
Yes, we have that base course using SPSS. Yeah, we have SPSS tutorials, books on that. Yeah, we do have that a lot actually.
Okay, yeah.
So even SPSS statistics for dummies, which would be me, we have it. Yeah, and also in terms of this, if a new version comes online, that works. Yeah.
All right, so you have the books, but not the actual software. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All
Exactly.
right, thank you. So our next one is Kwame also Edusei. Please go on with your question.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Just a quick one. I've been hearing Buku. Jeff, can you please tell me the full meaning? Or if it's an acronym, if you can just give me the full detail. Thank you.
Of the word Buku.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Buku was actually taken from Indonesian. So from Bahasa Indonesia, it just means book in Indonesian. And when we started out, we wanted to make it very short, and that's how it came. And there's a big Indonesian influence in Dutch culture. So we eat a lot of Indonesian food also, for instance. So it's a purely an Indonesian word, but it means a book in many languages. So that was a little bit of a coincidence.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff. So I know there is a coincidence too in our Ghanaian local language, Buku.
Yeah.
Kwame Togbagbaji, please go on with your question.
Okay. Yeah, Jeff, good morning, and thanks for the presentation as well. Okay, so can you please type public relations for me?
Public relations.
That's my first question. Public relations. Yes, public relations. Okay. All right. Now, there was in your presentation, there was a portion where you said when students are reading, you would know the number of students that have read a particular book.
Uh-huh.
All right. So if you see the list and others are not reading, can you use that as a performance track, kind of?
Very good question. Answer to that is up to the institute. So
Okay.
we have some institutes who do that. They say, okay, yeah. So we have that. It's implemented a little bit more.
Yeah.
Although for others, it's more of a freedom thing, right? So it also depends a little bit on the culture where you're at. But in some countries, like for instance, in Aruba, like I showed you, right, the institute there, the University of Aruba, they have a very strong mandate that students read. So if you do that, you see that over 90%, which is high, right, of students actually read. So the institute does have influence on that. And of course, at some institutes, there's also a financial incentive, right? Because some institutes, they also publish a lot of their own books together with the teachers. And then if their students read, but also other students, then income flows back to the institute, right? Because we always give 80% to the publishers. So there's several ways on how institutes go about this, but we can
Okay, if that is the case, what do you normally see? Do you see their names or IDs? The students, those who are reading the book.
Sorry?
How do you see them? Their identity, how do you see them?
So
on the platform, how do you see them? Is it by names or by their ID cards, or I don't know? How do you identify those students?
Yeah. It's the identifier we use, of course, as a platform is an email address. So it's usually usually the email address, of course, because you log in with the email address. But the data which is shown is, of course, anonymized. So I personally, for instance, I cannot see what user X at the ATU is doing because of privacy, right? But there could be some arguments to be made that if an institute really wants it, you can implement tracking on student behavior, but we don't
Yeah.
have that at ATU at this point.
Sure. Okay, so then the third one, about downloading. If your clients are interested in downloading, is there any way you can have a partnership or an agreement with the authors so that we can have that service? Maybe for a token, somebody can pay something and have a book. Because honestly, apart from reading digitally, somebody would also love to have a physical copy of the book. Do you get it?
I get what you I get what you mean.
Yeah.
What we see at this point in other markets is that because we are so much cheaper compared to a normal book, most of the reading is just being done online. But because of the money saved with the Buku platform, it's just like, well, if I reflect on this personally, I used to buy much more music, right? And now I listen to it on Spotify, but sometimes if there's one album I really like, I buy it. So for instance, this one, I liked it a lot, so I bought it. And that's the same thing we see as well. But in terms of, so sometimes then we can facilitate a link to a publisher like, hey, please, we are interested in this book, but we don't sell that, but we then just provide the contact.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Please,
you.
I'll call Dr. Sylvester Hatch for his question.
No, it's not a quick comment on the question the previous speaker asked about identifying students who are reading. So the student emails are the student ID. That's the domain. So if you have that, you know who is who. So uniquely identify the students by their ID. So the student ID .atu.edu.ga. So if you have that, you can. But he said, should be let free to decide what they want to read, how they want to learn your content. If a student has a better source, I don't think you should force a student to read a particular book to pass your exam.
Exactly.
Thank you, Sylvester. Sir Godwin, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is actually two. The first question is, am I able to cite a book after reading and probably I want to use it for my research? Does the system allow me to cite it?
Yes.
Okay. And two, does your system allow for personalization where maybe ATU, since the system is open to other institutions as well, where ATU would come with some specification to suit them? Does the system have that flexibility?
So because it's an all access model, usually well, you just have access to everything, right? But through book lists and those kinds of things, it's usually also very personalized to each institute. So what we also do at a lot of institutes is that we integrate, for instance, with their learning management system. So then it becomes fully integrated with their system. So you might see, for instance, a Moodle system at an institute. You know, maybe a Chessie, for instance, has a Moodle, and then we integrate into it. And then students just go to the learning management system, and then it's just in their system. So we then just plug into the infrastructure they have. So then it's it's fully immersed in the digital flavor of the institute, so to speak, and students don't even have to go to the Buku platform when you do something like that. That's what you also see. So it depends also a little bit on what the institute wants, and we can facilitate.
Okay. Last one. You mentioned that we use the system to set questions. Does the system at the same time allow students also to predict questions that had been set by the system?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit in the last question.
Yeah, the system allows us to set questions from the books. Does it also allow the students to be able to predict questions that had been set from this book?
Well, what we've been doing at this point is we've been training the system to keep the students as critical as possible.
Okay.
So for instance, if you ask an outright question like, "Oh, just give me the answer," the system will always try to make sure that there is critical thinking in it. And also maybe good to know is that because it's an AI feature, it is a learning entity. So over time, it will get better and better and better. And we can, based on, for instance, your feedback, we can, fine tune if there's things in it that, might not be wishful for a teacher or something like that. We can just adjust it. It's not plastic, it's elastic
Okay,
when
sure.
it comes to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Godwin. Dr. Irina Kab, your hand is up again.
Yes, a quick one. I think some of them have been answered, but in case I want to adapt a textbook that I'll be using for my lectures, and then will I be able to get some like lecture slides that I can use while the students can access the textbook on its own?
Yeah, very good question. So with the Buku AI, the AI can even help you to do that, of course. But if a publisher has those things available, what usually happens is that we just get a request from the institute or from a teacher such as yourself, and then we ask the publisher of the book you're looking for. So let's say, for instance, you're using a book of Cengage. We would then you say, hey, I want to really adopt this book for next year. Is there any lecture notes or what have you available? Then we would reach out to the publisher, and if yes, we would make it available. If they don't have it, we can of course make it available, but then we have to fall back of the AI being able to help you facilitate your teaching. So the system, you can use the system.
A follow-up. So does that mean that is it an institute or I can do it personally?
For ease, because your institute is quite big, we usually do it like on bulk. So we say, okay, on Friday, we're going to start with the new courses on September the 1st. So please make sure to get as many requests in on Friday. And then, but if you have a personal question, like in the middle of the year, you can always shoot it to us. Don't worry about it. But
all right, thank you.
Like for the start of a semester, we try to get as much information as possible, because then the publisher can also just chuck in as much information as they have at once.
Thank you, Jeff. Professor Franco Kuni-Frimpong, again.
Yeah, thanks once again. I wanted to know how the resource on Buku is contextualized in the African system, because most of the stuff here, are Western or European. So can we get more access to, African or contextual cases that we can use for our lectures?
Yeah, very good question. So we have books from everywhere, right? So we have books from a lot of them are from the US, UK, like you said, Western Europe, but more and more African books are on it as well. So we have South African books, Namibian books, Kenyan books. First Ghanaian books are also coming on. But what I really would also like to do is to collaborate with ATU as an institute to see on how we can co-create more Ghanaian books. I'm sorry. To create more Ghanaian books as well by ATU. So if there is a specific topic or maybe a subject you're teaching, this goes out to all the teachers. You say, hey, there's only American books available on this subject, but we have a lot of localized lecture notes. We have some stuff available. Let us know, and we can look into making a book out of that. So that book can, of course, be made available to. So, for instance, let's say Ghanaian engineering. Just blurting something ridiculous out, but like you have a lot of books on Ghanaian engineering because there's no Ghanaian engineering because all the engineers are American. We say you sit together, we make a book out of it. It's your copyright. We make it available on the platform. You can make it available to your own students, but also to students from Ashesi and maybe other institutes, Tamale, but also University of Aruba, Kenya. And then the institute can also generate income out of that. So there's two upsides, local context and income for the institute.
Right, sure. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Who's next? Questions? Florence.
So just to add to it, the statistics, the dashboard. So let me tell members that this is a trial. The subscription is a trial for only 1 year. And so the basis for resubscription would depend on the usage. So if after the 1 year period, we look that people are not really making effective good of it. People are not using it. Students are not using it. Lecturers are not using it. I don't think management will continue subscribing to it. So if we want it as lecturers, let us introduce this to our students. Let them give them assignment. Let them use it. Let us use it. If they use a statistic, we check and it's about 90%, 70%. I think we can convince management to resubscribe to it so that we continuously get this, use these resources. So it's further subscription depends on us if we use it.
Yeah, we can support.
That's it.
So
we'll use it.
Yeah. If you need to support like anything, we are there are humans behind everything. So if there's anything you need to help out with the students or support or videos, shoot us a question because there's always somebody at the end of the line helping you out. So it's not like a big static platform. It's people like me and my colleagues always willing to help you out. And there are no stupid questions or stupid requests. Don't be afraid to ask. Dutch culture is very direct. So if you want something, you say it. And I think I'd really try to press that to you guys as well. If there's something you need or you're not sure about something or you want a specific book or you say, okay, I do have some notes where we could perhaps make a book, but I'm not sure, just shoot the question and we are there to help you out.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. So if there are more questions or else we've almost done 1 hour. So we wait for the last 2 questions. Then we wrap up. All right, Jeff. I think I can't see any more hands.
So check chat,
Prof,
David.
Prof, I think there are a few questions in the chat.
In the chat, all right.
Yeah. I see, David. Do you have access to books only or articles as well? So it's I think you mean journals. So what you see is we are mostly books, but if you look at a publisher like, for instance, Springer, there are a lot of bundles. These are bundles of journals as well. So these are handbooks then, but for instance, this is a book which is a bundle of journals. So we have both, but it's mostly in book form. But if you look at the publisher like a Springer, how many books they have available, it's still a lot right here. If you look at it, about 75,000. So there's always something for you. In terms, I also saw the same question with you, like in the corner of my eye on the offline usage. You have access indefinitely when there's a collaboration. It's just like if you're using offline, you need to connect to the internet once every 2 weeks. But I'm sure you have to WhatsApp your friends, right, and check your bank balance. So you will have access once every 2 weeks. But you can keep your phone or device offline for 2 weeks without the system trying to say, hey, you need to connect. And that's also linked to the statistics. And in terms of the statistics with the DICE report, which I also saw, that's why it's anonymized, right? So we keep track of all the usage to the second, but on a per student basis, it's anonymized data. And if a student thinks that maybe book A is prescribed, but a part of book B is better suited for him to grasp a certain subject, he or she should be able to use that. So that's why everything is anonymized. And if you're flipping through, right, is that technically reading? So it is aggregated and anonymized because of that. And lastly, I think a note I just wanted to reiterate again. I would be very, very, very interested to look with the institute to see what lecture notes you may already have available. Can even be scribbles or anything on subjects. So because I really want to see if we can publish a few ATU books this year. We have a lot of experience with that. doesn't cost any investment from ATU, perhaps a little bit of time. But I would be very interested to make those books available because there needs to be more Ghanaian books.
Thank you very much, Jeff. We are grateful for taking us through this Buku platform and then this particular digital resource. We need it very much at this time in our institution when we are using both the blended method of teaching, face-to-face and then online. So this resource particularly is of great importance to us. And for us as an institution, we encourage each and everyone to log in to the Buku platform, assess the resources that are available for use. As it has been indicated, we have to also put in requests through Dr. Florence Blocky, our university librarian, to request for specific and particular books for area-specific courses that we all handle. Again, kindly refer all your students to log into the platform. For us, we have over 1,000 staff and 28,000 students. That's a very huge number. And for us to get the benefits of this Buku platform, the only thing we require from all of you is to log in, get to know what is there, and continue to use it and refer your students to use this particular digital resource. On this note, we thank you very much, and we hope and promise that we will make good use of this facility that you've made available to our institution. On behalf of the management of Accra Technical University, to Jeff in particular, to Walt, then to the Buku management, we thank you very much for the opportunity granted to us. We are hoping that at the end of this 1 year, this relationship will continue, then we have a better use of the facility you have provided to the institution. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Prof.
Madam Prof,
Please. Yeah, so let me make this as a small clarification. Our number that we subscribed to was 2,500 students, but it's free for all lecturers and staff. So if you want your student to enjoy, please let them be among the 2,500.
Let me iterate. If we go over, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I will personally make sure that it's no issue. So the more the merrier. Okay. So then I will manage the publishers and say, hey, we just need this. So even if it's more, if it's 10,000, don't worry about it. I will stand for that personally.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's heartwarming.